Congrès mondial Tamazight, Naaser Abuzakar. You have the floor.
Madam Chair, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We sincerely congratulate the members of EMRIP for choosing the theme of the right to self-determination for this year. As you indicated in your report, the right of self-determination is central and conditions all other rights as enshrined in the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. I would like to bring to your attention today some contextual elements regarding the case of the Amazighs in all the North African countries. In this vast territory, the majority of Amazigh communities have lost their identity, culture, land, and their natural resources, which have been confiscated by state governments. The exploitation of oil, gas, water, uranium, phosphate, etc. are undertaken without consultation and without consent of the Amazigh communities that affected our people's lives and their right to self-determination. North African states continue to prevent the participation of the Amazighs in decisions on issues that affect them, showing a violation of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, as well as the other international instruments on human and people's rights. In Algeria, the Algerian government oppresses and keeps in jail anyone who peacefully opposes its policies. After the amendment of the Penal Code last June, any defender of the Amazigh rights, activist of civil society, and supporter of human rights risks being arrested and prosecuted for terrorism. That's unbelievable. Currently, dozens of peaceful activists are in prison and remanded in custody accused of terrorism and risk a heavy prison sentence. In Algeria, the right to self-determination is demonized and its promoters are criminalized and repressed. In Libya, the decision to create 3 electoral regions. In Libya, we have 3 different regions, Tripoli at the northwest, Barga at the eastern side of the country, and Fezzan at the south, has impacted the Amazigh communities, which are divided between the 3 regions. This happened without consulting the Amazigh people and without taking into account the particularity of our culture, tradition, and territory. Recently, the Amazigh regions were treated unfairly by the Libyan government in its recent budget announcement. Despite the fact that the government's budget based on oil and gas revenues, which are produced from our territories. The Amazigh are often seen as a threat to the national unity and security of the states and as being against national interests, rather than as a potential means of ensuring self-determination rights. Therefore, a collective effort from EMRIP and other UN entities is necessary to avoid the extinction of our culture and the loss of our historical and ecological knowledge that is essential for the survival of Amazigh communities and put an end to violence by the states. We need EMRIP's support to remove all obstacles to exercise our right to self-determination, develop our institutions to administer our self-governance in accordance with our culture and traditions, which are invaluable assets to us and the world. EMRIP can play a significant role by informing member states about their obligations to human rights as enshrined in the UN Declaration on the Human on the rights of indigenous people. Therefore, it is important for us to develop a legal framework to adopt a law recognizing our people and communities based on self-identification and protecting our rights as follows. Firstly, exercise our right of self-determination and retain jurisdiction over our territories. Secondly, protect our right to ownership of our lands that we traditionally occupy and use as sources of livelihood. Thirdly, develop our political and parliamentary structures, take control of our education system and cultural structures, and make use of natural resources in our territories to support our projects. Fourthly, manage our own territories to protect our land and have our territorial protection systems. And finally, to gain the support of EMRIP for dialogue facilitation, capacity building, and cooperation. For this purpose, the Congress Mondial Amazigh CMA is at your disposal to provide you with all explanations and documentation necessary for the examination of these matters. We wish your intervention as soon as possible because the Amazighs are suffering and experiencing dramatic situations. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much for your statement, sir. And that is the final statement for the second round of official statements. And I have been advised that we have been given an extra 10 minutes due to 10 minutes late start of the session. So